Aerospace Bristol is the final landing place of Concorde Alpha Foxtrot, the last Concorde to have ever been built and the last one to have ever flown. Not only that, it tells the story of Bristol's connection with the aerospace industry, which all started with a tram. It was Sir George White, a Kingsdown native who was already in the transport business with his electric tramways, that spotted an opportunity in the skies. Just 1 year after seeing the Wright brothers fly in France, he founded the British and Colonial Aeroplane Company, which set the propellers in motion for innovation and industry, which remains strong to this day.
This industry goes back to 1910 with the foundations of the company by Sir George White with the tramways company, and he looked at this new innovation of aeroplanes and thought, oh, I can do something with that. Set up the British and Colonial Aeroplane Company, which went on to form the foundations of now Airbus and Rolls-Royce. The reason we have a tram there is basically it's a Bristol tram, and exactly the same methods we used to build a tram as we used to build early aircraft. So trams are so important to us and the skills that we now develop and we now have in this area. It's really important that we tell the story of the people who built these aircraft, designed these aircraft, worked on the aircraft. It's about how skills have developed, how skills are still developing here through the aerospace industry, which still exists, and it's about us inspiring future generations into science, technology, engineering and maths.
The journey through Bristol's contribution to the skies will deliver you beneath the jewel of the British aerospace industry's crown.
This Concorde 216, as she's known as by the engineers who built her, or Alpha Foxtrot, as known by the crew who flew her, was the last Concorde to fly into to Filton in November 2003. There was so much emotion on that day. I remember standing on the runway watching Concorde fly in for the last time. I had grown men stood next to me with tears rolling down their face. So much pride involved with this aircraft, so much love for the aircraft. Some people at the end of the runway were celebrating because they wouldn't hear the supersonic boom again. I think because everybody in Bristol knows somebody who worked on the aircraft or flew on the aircraft, and I think for that reason I've got neighbours who all said that they would always stop and look at Concorde when she flew over, and I know as a child I always used to see Concorde, and Concorde always flew from behind me going towards Heathrow because I grew up in London, and she's just an amazing feat of engineering, and it is also that local connection here and the fact that so many people worked on her. We've been really lucky because we've had a number of Concorde pilots who've come to see us, including Les Brodie, who was the captain on the final flight, and also the flight engineer on the final flight showed me where he'd written his name during the flight as she was going supersonic, and he pulled out the table in the cockpit and said, oh, I signed my name here, and that was the first time we'd seen that signature since she'd landed. So yeah, really special memories.
Well, it was Captain Barbara Harmon, the first ever qualified female Concorde pilot, that said about this supersonic jet, it has an aura about it. And you know what, it really does. Sadly, we'll never get to experience that aura at 55,000 feet, but you can experience it on the tarmac, as they say, here at Aerospace Bristol.